Welcome to yet another episode of the Economic Times Cutting Chai Stories, a series of conversations with CXOs and business leaders over chai or coffee, if that's your preference, brought to you by ETH. The urgency and pressure on business leaders as they navigate the COVID-19 pandemic has been immense, to say the least. These business leaders have been constantly monitoring myriad ways to ensure that their respective companies stay on course in the new normal. The incredible demands placed on them makes us often wonder how they have time for family, hobbies, or any downtime at a personal level. And let's not forget that they are mere mortals. This initiative by ETH is aimed to create a deeper connection with them and to get a sense of what business leaders of several prominent companies do when they are not in business mode. Today, it's my pleasure to host Amol Fadnis, Director, IT Services at Allscripts. Amol, welcome to the Economic Times Cutting Chai Stories.
Thank you, Ivan. Happy to be here.
Same here. Amol, let me start by asking you, what does a typical day in your life currently look like?
So I agree when you said, the situation has changed so dramatically. We couldn't probably imagine working like this year and a half ago or 2 years ago. So, but the current life looks, in a way, very mundane, but very challenging in itself. So a typical day begins, probably somewhere between 8, 9. You try and freshen up. I am a sort of a fitness enthusiast, so I try and have at least an hour of gym before I begin, anything, have my lunch, again get freshened up a little bit. And then work begins around noon time, because ours is a US based company. We typically, offices across 13 countries, but predominantly US. So it goes on till late in the night. So it's better that I have some me time early in the morning rather than evenings are super busy.
Right.
But yeah, meetings typically begin, in the second half when UK begins and US begins at 5ish.
Yeah. Good. I think that's a great start to this conversation, which will lead me to the second question based on what you said in your response to the first one. And given the fact that quite a few of us, including you, probably are still in a work from home mode, are you able to maintain a balance between your work life and personal life? And if yes, how?
I try to. I'm just being very candid. Not always possible.
Right.
But this is sort of given an opportunity to bond with family much more than we could. Earlier, it life took about anywhere between a couple of hours of travel time, which is now no longer valid. So we try and use that travel time. So last year and a half, I could paint with my daughter, or learn piano along with her,
Okay.
and do stuff that you imagine doing earlier, because she had her schooling time and wife was busy, and we are of course doing our own thing. But this is sort of given an opportunity, especially on earlier in the day and also on weekends, where you pretty much nothing to do otherwise. You try and do things that sort of bring you joy in along with family.
Absolutely.
And as I said, focus on some me time, focus on learning.
Yes.
Improve our own health, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. You're right. I mean, there are a lot of negative outcomes from the pandemic, but there are some great positive takeaways for each of us. And this is something, like you said, we wouldn't have even imagined doing, but we had to do it. And there's a lot of joy that can be derived from what we are doing, the simple things in life.
Yeah, we have to find some things on our own.
Yes.
Just to keep our head straight, sort of.
Absolutely. Amol, you're a leader in your own right. Let me ask you, as a leader, as to what are the people management and leadership skills that are essential for any leader?
So, while there are plenty, I'd say one each that resonate with me very closely. as a people manager, right? It's very important for us to communicate with our teams, with our leadership, be it your colleagues and things like that, just to make sure that everybody's on same page. Make sure that whatever you intend to do is being passed on, at least that intent is being passed on correctly. What is the direction that you are taking, and it just get everybody along in that journey that you're on, right? So that's on the leadership part. And on the other thing that I'd like to mention is about vision. So make sure where you have been looking at the direction that you're going, have a place in your mind where you want to be in short to medium term. And long term will sort of take care of itself. Just take baby steps. What do you want to do for next couple of months to 6 months, sort of a timeline, and make sure that you are achieving it. That strategy is on track, and just keep improving a little bit every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's about keeping things simple, I think, at the end of the day, and taking those steps incrementally, being there in the moment, not looking too far ahead, and getting ahead of ourselves. Well said. Uh, Makes complete sense. A slightly philosophical question, if I may say so, Amol. Some people believe that if life has no purpose, then there is no reason for living. You talked about a vision, a larger word, probably purpose. While others think that if life has no purpose, especially the younger generation, that it frees the person to find and create and follow their own personal purpose, which may change from time to time. Uh, what is your view on this?
So personally, I am of the latter thought process, that nobody's actually given us a purpose when we were born, right? So it's like the way PK says, you're tappa laga ke nahi aaye, sort of. So
Absolutely,
you have to
absolutely.
sort of look at what inspires you personally, what you want to do, from based on your skills, your interest, your hobbies, where you want to be in your life. Try and gel that purpose along with what you know or what you're capable of doing. I'd not say that I want to be the best footballer in the world, because that's not my cup of tea. I'd rather
Sure.
I'd rather make my purpose as I want to I want to help as many people in their own careers, people that I work with, people that I interview, people that I come in contact with in terms of my organization, even vendors, even from the point of security guards and people that I meet on a day-to-day basis. So even at times they've asked me, Sir, what next should I do? You've done X, so what should I do?
Yes.
I was having a conversation with my gym trainer on what should he do next from a career point of view and things like that, right? So I think that purpose resonates with me more, and that is something that I would like to make it as my own life's purpose, just to help as many people as I can, do something for them that I can, be it with my time, be it with money, be it with my expertise, and just help them in general to do better, at least better than yesterday or last month.
Sure, sure. Do something again. What I hear you saying is incrementally where you're a better version of yourself every single day.
Yeah.
If you can do that, uh, I think you've got your purpose sorted out. In whatever way, each one's could be very
Whatever.
different.
True,
Makes
true.
makes sense. Makes sense. Amol, how have you over the years invested in yourself to equip yourself better and incrementally improve in the professional and personal space? Could you share some snippets of what you've done?
So especially over last 15 years or so, I'll not go before that, but last 15 years, the way we've grown the company, from the time when I have joined about 50 odd people to about 3,500 now. So a lot of things have changed since that time, right? So at the beginning, it was us, a couple of folks, doing pretty much everything needed to be, cutting cables to electrical to
Yeah.
telephony to servers and pretty much everything. So that at the initial phase needed a lot of learning very rapidly, right? So we could do that. Luckily, we're in a good space now. But of course, technology, as you know, has been evolving so fast with
Yes.
emergence of cloud, with emergence of AI and machine learning now, things that we're trying to do now, which will sort of automate a bunch of things, which will solve a lot of problems, even predictively before even somebody reports, automatic healing and things like that, right? So it needs
Yes.
a lot of reading in itself, lot of understanding just to make sure what is the right decision to make at this point in time. Even though we don't go and code, or you don't necessarily do all the configurations yourself anymore, but you do take care of what the end game end shape probably should look like, right? So but there are, of course, there are partners that we consult, there are partners that that give us some sort of guidance, be it Microsoft, be it AWS, be it a lot of folks, even Gartners and sort, which sort of give us uh, some additional input.
Yes.
But of course, that own learning and that decision making goes on pretty much every day towards that.
Right.
In terms of personal goals, honestly, not achieved so much, but just trying to do a little more with the newfound time in last year and a half. Just as I said, trying to paint a little, learning piano, uh, health and fitness. We've already discussed. Spend some more time along with. Family and just do a little bit for the community as well. So I am a active platelet donor. So in case of requirements, I try and do more for it now so than I was able to do before. So earlier, times were a little more challenging, but now I can be available on call sort of more frequently than not.
Wonderful, wonderful. Some very noble things. Yeah. See, this is the thing, Amol, the way the pandemic has impacted us, and so many of us, we actually don't even know on a day-to-day basis, or in terms of their own individual's journey. And while I'm listening to you, as to what all is happening and what good things people are doing. So God bless you for whatever you're doing on the plate front. Much needed during this time. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Happy to. I think it's a duty of everyone's to sort of help each other in
Absolutely.
whatever way, small or big possible. That
Absolutely.
and if you're not doing it, it's sort of not good in a way.
Sure. Sure. You just touched upon this in your previous response, and you talked about technology, how it's rapidly evolving, the changes. You talked about cloud, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and there have been certain impact points, where technology has just changed the face of the way we operate, and there are many milestones if you look at the evolving technology. I'm going to ask you a question. What big problem do you think technology will solve next?
So for an immediate or a 2 to 3 years sort of a timeline, I think we're very close to getting rid of petrol, diesel as a fuel source for cars or mobility,
Right.
whatever, right? So we still have a lot of countries are now 90% uh, all new 90% of all new cars are being bought as electric. We're still very far away from that, but sort of there are some limitations to that, considering one charge gets you about 200, so you can't go from Mumbai to Goa and without having a couple of stops. So that I think will go away in a shorter duration. A slightly longer term duration, I'd say yeah, technology is going to bring up a very significant change in terms of our physical, the way we live,
Okay.
especially with people with special needs. So for partial vision, for improvements towards kidney pacemakers have been around for quite some time now. So that I think the first probably the first technology component that fits into your body and supports your heart a little bit just to do just to help it do its job. But there are many more such components being being planned around, and by a slightly longer term, I'd say about 2028, 2030 sort of a timeline, there'd be many more such probably chips, if you may call them, to just to help and increase age of hypothetically by another 5 to 15 years or so.
Wonderful. I hope whatever you've said and articulated in this response actually happens, because there's nothing better than using technology to save lives, to intervene where we have issues in terms of, like you said, while pacemakers are there when it comes to kidneys or other uh, organs in our body. If technology has a role and it can actually intervene and save lives there, wonderful, or make life easier for people. Great, great, noble thoughts. And I'm sure this will be manifested. And when it happens, I will think of you. Great. So, Amol, I'm having a great time having this cutting chai conversation with you. We still have some time left. So, what I'm going to do is move on to another segment, which is called the short answer segment. It's a one word, one line answer that I will solicit from you. I will throw a set of questions and options at you, and I expect you to answer in one word or one line. It's a fun segment. Like I said, there are no wrong answers. All the answers are going to be right answers because they are your answers. Okay.
All right.
So, are you ready for it?
Sure.
Good. Have fun. I'm going to give you two options. Choose one: money or fame,
Money.
music or movies.
Music.
Nice. Picnics or road trips.
Road trips to picnic.
Okay. Good, good, good. I'm giving you three options. Kindly choose one: samosa pav, misal pav, or vada pav.
Wow, that's a tough one.
Yeah. The
Being a
technology
Punekar,
questions.
I'd say a misal pav.
Yeah, misal pav, right? Yeah, I knew you would go for it. While the technology questions might seem, for me tough, they're easy for you. But these are the tough questions, right,
I
Amol?
agree. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
So here's
and
another,
then choosing among some of the favorites is even tougher. Yeah.
right. So then I'm going to give you another tough one right now. Sabudana vada or alucha vada?
Sabudana vada.
Okay. Taking the stairs or taking the elevator? I think I know my answer.
I'm on the 24th floor.
Ah,
So
okay.
stairs is
Halfway at
I
least.
do I do that step master and gym, but yeah,
Okay.
that 5 minutes is usually enough.
Enough. Okay. So take the elevator. No worries. Do you like dancing or making others dance?
Making others dance. I'm a terrible dancer.
Okay, good. Painful truth or comforting lie?
I'd say painful truth.
Yes. Best compliment you have ever received?
Wow.
Don't feel shy. I know you're modest, but tell us.
I got a letter from one of my team members
Okay.
after actually a physical letter which nobody writes anymore, but
Yes.
he wrote me a very kind letter with some of the kindest words that I've read in my life. So I'd say that whole bunch was very
Wonderful.
sweet of him.
Wonderful. Great. Are your friends completely opposite to you, or are most of them similar to you?
I'd say most of my friends are very similar. Um, Try and
That's fine.
probably birds of a feather flock together, sort of.
Yes, absolutely. What is the one thing, Amol, you have always wanted to do but haven't been able to do yet?
Lose weight.
Okay. What is that one thing most people don't know about you?
I'm an aspiring singer.
Good. So now everybody will know that. Good. Favorite holiday destination in India and internationally? One. One in India, one internationally.
India, I'd say Goa.
Okay.
I'm a beach person that way. And internationally, it'd be US or yeah, New York.
Right. Uh, would you rather set the table before dinner or clean up after dinner?
Set the table before.
Never use social media ever or never watch TV ever?
Never watch TV ever.
Okay. Fulfill your biggest wish or resolve your biggest regret?
Fulfill my biggest wish. I don't have too many regrets.
Good. Continue on with your life as is or restart your life?
Well, restarting is a challenge. I'd prefer continuing the way it is.
Right, right. Okay, good. If you were to be stuck in a room for 24 hours, whom would you choose to be stuck with? I'm giving you 3 options. Kindly choose one. Amitabh Bachchan, Mark Zuckerberg, or Vivian Richards?
Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay. You touched upon
Too many,
also I'm
many
going to
things
ask.
to talk with.
Sorry?
Too many things I can catch up with him on.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I said there are no wrong answers. All answers are right answers. You talked about this earlier, so I'm going to ask you, if you were a gifted painter and you've taken up painting now and could paint anything, okay, what would you paint?
Sunset well. Paint it well. It's a sunset.
Good, good. If you were a kitchen appliance, which one would you be and why?
I'd say a fridge.
A fridge. Why?
Um, just the cool-headed nature of it.
Nice. Very good. Great answer. If your name were a logo, Amol Fadnis, what would its tagline be?
Just works.
Just
It just works.
okay. Okay. Wonderful.
Not necessarily from a work point of view, but
Yeah.
whatever I do, sort of try and make it work. Yeah.
Sure, sure, sure. What, according to you, has been the most important invention ever till date?
Because in our lifetimes, I'd say internet.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Which 3 people, living or dead, would you like to have a cutting chai conversation with, Amol, where you're in my shoes and you've got a choice of 3 people that you can have a cutting chai conversation with? It could be living, somebody passed away, or it could be a fictional character also.
So one of my favorite authors, I'd say Steven Pinker.
Okay.
He's one. Another, probably just a set of interesting people. Another one could be Oppenheimer.
Okay. The father of the atom bomb. Yeah.
Yeah, and the third, I'd say Richard Thaler.
Okay. Who's Richard Thaler?
He's again a Nobel winner, author of a economist, behavioral economist.
Okay.
And he's written a book called Nudge. So,
okay.
And the fourth, if I may, say Ratan Tata.
Okay, that's fine. You get buy 3, get 1 free. So 3 plus 1, no problem. Okay. Last few questions in this segment. Kindly complete the sentence. My greatest desire for my child or children is ...
I only have one daughter, so I'd say they have the right thought process.
Sure.
Just and be be humble.
Sure.
Whenever they grew up, I mean, she's just 10 right now, but yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. I think that's a lovely answer. That's a lovely answer. Complete the sentence. Nobody can stop me from dash, dash, dash.
Being better than myself.
Good. Nice answer. Each day I get older, I realize that dash, dash, dash.
I have lesser and lesser time to achieve things that I want to achieve.
Good.
So somebody, I read a very interesting line. If I have another.
Please go. Yeah.
So somebody said, your second life begins when you realize that you only have one.
Very nice. Very nice. Very short, but very deep. Well said. Thank you for sharing that. Final question in this segment, Amol. Life is incomplete without dash. Fill in the blanks.
Without loved ones.
Lovely. Great. What a lovely way to end this segment. I had a great time listening to all your responses. I hope you enjoyed this segment too, Amol.
Absolutely. Yeah, it did provoke some thoughts. And some of it was, some of these things you don't necessarily sit and think about.
Absolutely.
On a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, the purpose is you can't plan for this. It's just thrown in whatever comes to mind. You just go with it. Absolutely. With your mind, with your heart and soul. That's about it. And that's so great. We've got a much deeper insight into you in this segment on many aspects of how you think, your favorite stuff, X, Y, Z. One final question, and this is not the one word, one line answer. One final question. You can take a minute for this before we let you go. Amol, what do you plan to do when you retire?
I don't honestly plan to retire. I'll try and work as much as I can. I'd probably retire from my current job at a certain age limit. But beyond that, I'd certainly try and work as far as health allows me.
Sure.
To do things that, be it charity, be it something else, be it, whatever interests me at that point in time.
Sure.
But just keep working. Keep yourself occupied.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Friends, that was Amol Fadnis, Director IT Services at Allscripts, in conversation with me. It was a cutting chai conversation brought to you by the Economic Times and ETH. I had a great time over the last 25 minutes or so interacting with Amol. Amol, on behalf of the Economic Times, we wish you, your family, and Allscripts the very best going future. Going forward, sorry.
Thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you as well.